Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So it's Wednesday, and this is when I usually do a junk journal video, and I am doing one. I'm making some embellishments, but I'm using a Stampin' Up bundle to do this. I'm using this Posted for You bundle. When I saw this in the catalogue, I got really excited because we've got a rectangle punch here that's it's like a postage stamp sort of edging. It's a little bit bigger than most postage stamps, and then you've got this set that goes with it, and these images will go inside there. And then of course we've got a postmark stamp which I loved, and some great sayings, and I just couldn't wait to try and make myself some sort of vintage stamps. So I've had a little go, and I've come up with these two, and I sort of distressed them, made them look a little bit vintage. I've used the new cinnamon cider, which I thought would look very lovely and vintagey, and I've sort of stamped the back using the painted poppies. I've used these before, these sort of splatters, and I've used that stamp set there to sort of give the effect of sort of coffee staining, except it's cinnamon cider, so it's not quite the same colour, but I liked the look. So I'm just going to show you how quick it is to make, and I think these go really nice in little tuck spots. You could do a little bit of journaling, or you could just stick it down if you were doing some collaging, and you can of course use any colour inks on it. And oh, I used a different colour there. Oh, I've only brought the one out with me. Oh well, never mind. I've got Memento. I might change it up a bit. And yeah, I just thought it was lovely. So these were done on Whisper Whites. I'm going to do some on Whisper White and some on Very Vanilla. I'm using the thicker card because if I want it to be like a little tag that I might write a little simple message on, and it's going to be sort of in and out of a journal, I wanted it to just be sort of on slightly thicker cards so that it would stand up test time. I've got my big shot there sort of balanced. I put that on the end and it kind of went sort of seesaw-y. So yes, not great. Right, so what I'm going to do is I've mounted all the three different images because I wanted to be able to make stamps with all of them. So I'm going to, I did those two, bring them back in. So I did one in the full strength and one stamped off. There's a buzzy fly in here where you can buzz off, yeah, so I actually touched it. I've just got a little bit cold. Yeah, so I stamped off on one and not on the other, so you can sort of see the difference. So I'll do that again. So I might just make 12 here, one on, one off. So I say this would be really good, just make them up and then you've got them sort of ready in your stash for when you might need them, was my thoughts. Love this colour. I love the vintage look anyway. And yep. And then this one, I really like this one. It's coming back for more. I'm going to put it that way on because it doesn't really matter. And I'm not sure that I've left myself enough space here to do two. Might just squeeze it in. Let's see. Okay, so that's that. And then what I took was an aqua painter, and I just went round these petals. I've done this before on a card, but I'm not sure if you've seen it. And it's just sort of moving the ink a bit around there. No skill required for this sort of thing. I'm just going to do the same on this one. Might speed this up for you rather than have you watch me. So that's them all done, and I sort of put the heat gun on it as well because this one was getting a little bit wet because I had to bring some extra water in. So that's what they're like. And then I'm going to stamp on the postmark. I'm going to use grey granite. I think that's what I used last time. I might have used crumb cake, I can't remember, but I'm going to use grey granite. And I'm going to sort of just do a full strength and a half strength. I'm not particularly thinking about where it's going because it is all very random when you get post. It sort of depends where it goes through the machine. So I'm not thinking, I might put this the right way up though. So there we go, a bit of the postmark going on there, and then I'm gonna blend this. So I'm going to use one of the sort of makeup brushes, and I'm going to blend with cinnamon cider. I'm going to bring in a scrap bit, and I'm gonna take off a bit of this actually because it doesn't need all that, just to save a bit of time, and that's not going to come off there, is it? So we'll just cut that. Just cut that down. So I've got less space that I'm blending on, but I'm going to sort of blend over the entire sheet before I sort of stamp it off. So I'm just going to ink it up and just go over, giving this sort of aged look. Going on the other side as well, because if these are going to end up as tags in a journal, you're going to see both sides, so I want both sides done. If I then end up just sticking it to a page, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't actually take too long to do this, and I'm going to be able to see the difference between using some cream cardstock and some white cardstock. So of course I have got coffee dyed stuff, so I could have done it on some coffee dyed paper and tea dyed paper. I've got loads of it. I was sorting it out and sort of wanting to put it all in one place, and once I got it out from all the different places where I've had it stored, I realised that I had quite a lot. Right, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to bring in these two stamps here, and I'm going to use this one that's kind of like a bit of a kind of like watercolour, and just put that. I think the dark one's a bit too dark, to be fair. Just go over the back in a random fashion. That's going to be punched out into little bits, so you won't see that sort of full on effect. I just think it gives it a little bit of something. I need to find it actually. I've got a stamp set from a while ago that had like a coffee stain. I think that would look like a coffee cup stain, which I think would look really nice. Might actually, I was just thinking if I was going to use, I've got a bigger one of these that I quite like the look of, so I'm gonna, on this side, I'm just going to use this, and I'll probably mount the bigger one for the other side. Just want to give it bits of splattering around. I do love when I'm going all junky and gungy. I do love just playing and putting whatever on, and trusting myself, and thinking and hoping that it'll actually all turn out all right. So I just need another one of them. I think for the back here, having a bigger splodge is probably better. So just love. It was just, I don't know why I thought, oh, I wonder what this would look like. But I was like trying to get the impression of aged, stained paper, and came up with this idea, and I just think it's really effective. So there we are. That'll do for that. They all need cleaning. I'm going to stick them over there to clean on my chamois. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to punch it out. We will need this ink again, but I'm just putting it away for now. So now we can bring in the punch to punch these out. I'll do these first. So they fit in nicely, and it gives you that nice shape of a postage stamp. And it's I think it's great size for just a little tab. I've got a punch that makes little mini envelopes, and I think these would fit in quite nicely, so that'd be quite nice just tucked in. And I can just have these in my stash ready to pull out whenever I need it. Now that one is not quite big enough, but I can use that side there. I think that works. So this one's just going to be slightly smaller, but I think it works still. I haven't got a problem with that. I might just snip a bit of that off, and that still works as a stamp, I think. So get rid of these bits. Don't know where my bin is. Alright, so I'm not getting rid of them very far. So these ones will be a little bit easier. Space them out a bit better. So this is like 12 very quick stamps that I'm going to have ready to go with. I am now beginning to add photos and memorabilia and memories to my junk journal, and it's as I'm going along, I'm thinking, oh, I'll stick something else there. So although I kind of called it finished, I knew that as I started journaling and things that I would add other things to it. So that's them all done. So you can see when they're taken then in isolation, so all that stamping that I did sort of at the back, you're now seeing it in sort of smaller chunks. It's worked really well, I think. And then all the little random stamps that I've done round the tops have also worked really well. So now I'm going to just ink round the edge. So I've got a little sponge dauber there in for my cinnamon cider, and so I'm just literally going round, and that kind of emphasises that shape. I'm doing it on both sides so that the underside's got it as well. And that's what that's going to be like. I'm going to do one of each style so that we can then compare the colour. Actually, I'm just going to do them all, but you don't want to watch me do all this, so I shall speed this up until I get them all done. So there they are, done. So we've got ones that were done in very vanilla and ones that were done in Whisper White. Now normally I do use white papers and stuff when I'm dyeing them, which is why I sort of naturally went to the white in the first place, but then I've done some in the very vanilla. So let's do like for like. So we've got very vanilla and we've got Whisper White, and I think they both work. I mean, I might think, oh, actually it could do with a little bit of extra blending on that, so you can always go back in with some if you think you haven't quite done enough on a piece. But yeah, I think they've turned out very well. I quite like the way it kind of looks like almost a burnt edge, the way that the cinnamon cider's sort of gone on and sort of picked up that edge. Anyway, I just think that they're just really cute, really handy, and if you're making a really mini journal, these would be perfect sizes for a really, really tiny one, and could even make like a really tiny one, and that'd be like a cover. So yeah, they're going in my little pot with all my other little bits and bobs. Could do a nice little cluster with that. She says like she's some sort of expert now. So yeah, hope you like that. And if you are starting your junk journal journey, then this is a fabulous set. Buying it as a bundle, you get 10% off. There's links to my shop down below if you're interested in purchasing this. And I do think this is a lovely colour ink to go with it. It's water-based, so as you saw, you can sort of watercolour with it as well. It blends really well, and it stamps lovely as well. So good inks. I think I like them a lot. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I shall see you again Friday with another tutorial. Okay, see you again soon. Bye.